So I heard this huge crash inside the house a little while ago, and I wasn't sure what it was. I assumed maybe my big pile had fallen over. I thought you'd be interested in seeing what it was. So you can see the mess I made the last time I cleaned up, but it's nice and clean down in the, but this fell. It came off that spot up there. I had seen that limb. I knew it was probably gonna come down, but I'm glad it didn't come down yesterday when I was out here working. You can see the dent it put in that. It's not super thick, but still, my skull is not that thick. All said, it really kind of fell in the perfect spot. I think it cracked the foam, but that's no big deal. Did dent that roofing panel, which is a full panel, but could be hammered out. Well, more cleanup to do, but needless to say, I'm thankful I wasn't out here when that happened. Certainly working right in that area yesterday, and that probably would have done some damage if it had hit me. So I'm definitely thankful. Alright, so today I'm going to allow myself 2 tasks, because the first task is only going to take about 10 minutes, and that is to cut up the limb that has fallen back here. And then the second task, I'm going to use as much of that sheathing and insulation as I can inside the shed, because I want to use as much as I can so I can feel good about getting rid of the rest of it, at least the small stuff. Alright, we're going to film the first part of this time lapse from up in the perch. So the perch is actually something that I built using all this leftover pressure treated. So I've got a ship ladder here up to a landing, and then there's a Trevor!
What?
Actually a bench seat up here. This is a scrap. So this, we sit up here to read, kind of gives us a perspective over the neighborhood and the mess. You can kind of see what we're dealing with up here. So it's also good to enlist some help. So Trevor's going to help me today.
Yes.
And not only is that going to provide me with the extra set of hands, but it's also going to provide me with some accountability, where he can say, Dad, you need to get rid of that. So including our friends and family in this type of a pursuit can be extremely beneficial. All right, let's get to work. One great tip I got from Gina in the comments was put like with like. So one principle I'm going to use as I move through this process is when I am consolidating stuff or storing it, I'm going to always put like things together. So if I'm looking for one particular thing, I can know right where to find it. That's also going to tell me if I potentially have more of it than I need. So thanks, Gina, for that thought and idea. Going to put it into practice today. All right, I'm getting a little off task here. It's hard to stop. Kind of wanted to reclaim as much of this area as possible, but I'm going to move on to the second half of today's task, which is finishing out the walls in the shed. I'm coming to get the camera. So all of this stuff that I basically just tossed out of here, I want to use some of that back on the wall. in particular this wall, because I want this wall to be a feature wall. What I want to do is use that to write down ideas and principles that come out of this process for me. Because the goal is that once I do this, I don't go back. I have a new way of thinking about stuff. So anyway, that's the idea. Alright, so the accent wall is complete. Well, at least the base coat. Still need to put the window above it, but I think this is a great accomplishment for the time that we set aside here. Probably a little longer than an hour. Sometimes kind of got to extend a little bit to get something big done like this. But super pleased with how this turned out. In fact, what this is going to be is all of the ideas and principles that are part of this exercise for me and that come from you in the comments are going to go on that wall. So it's going to become a chalkboard of ideas. And so let me know what your thoughts are on that. Send me your best ideas for the things that have helped you, those of you who are like me out there. And even if you're not, what are the thoughts that you have for how someone should tackle a big pile like this? So one thing I was specific to do here is I'm not letting this space get taken over again. This is now sacred space, and I'm not moving backwards. Even if the disarray is greater out there, I'm still not going to let anything be in this space. That's why I swept it out before we painted. So at least when I look this direction, there's peace. And we'll tackle this wall next. Trevor got a start on the paint job there. And turn in the corner. But anyway, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your great comments and ideas that came in the comments on last week's video. Please leave some more in the comments below this time. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. You know what they say, when life gives you limbs, you make lemonade. Oh, that was bad. Sorry.